welcome back to another episode here on ESGNet, and this is MLB 16, the show, Kansas City Royals franchise. This is episode, this is actually Royal Court Insider, and this is episode 19, as we're taking a little bit of a preview here of the MLB playoffs. So the Royals are in the playoffs as they clinch the American League Central Division. And there you see in the next, actually the first in this first round of games, we got the divisional round, and we'll be taking on the Toronto Blue Jays coming up here. Now, first I'm gonna apologize here. I didn't do too much of my research here, but I know for a fact that we did dominate the Blue Jays quite often here this season. As you take the Royals right now, 116 and 46, I believe. Blue Jays there, right at 85 and 78 for the year, and of course they were in that wild card game with the Red Sox to see who's going to be representing for the wild card. So they had that one wild card game, and of course the Red Sox or the Blue Jays won that game and defeated the Red Sox there, as the Blue Jays hosted them in that series. Really, truly could have went either way, but. I'm kind of glad that the Red Sox are not in there personally, because, you know, that's my team, and I didn't want to have to beat up my own, you know, my favorite team in the world with the Royals. So, but yeah, so far this season, it's been a great year. Let's just talk about this right now, about this team. Guys like Eric Hosmer, who's had just was on fire the start of this season. And then, of course, his numbers started going down some. As we got closer to the All-Star break, and of course there you see his numbers for this year. A great year overall for him. 91 RBIs, 29 I believe home runs there, or 23. I can't really tell from my screen here. Really gotta clean my screen. Jeez. Anyway, but yeah, overall it's just a great year he's had, and he is of course the pretty much the guy on the offensive side of everything here. It's just we try to build around him, and that's what we're trying to do right now with this young ball club. He's only 25 years of age now, remember, so he's still pretty young, and he's still in his pretty much in his prime of his career, and we're going to see if we can get a couple more years out of him here. I think he's got another couple of years on his contract. I want to say 3 years on his contract, and we'll have to try to figure out what we're going to do next, or who we're going to be the next person to be our centerpiece for our team. But between him and Salvi, those guys, without those guys, I don't think that we would have much of a team. But this guy right here, who we picked up during the offseason, I'm so glad we picked him up. I'm talking about Adam Lind. 49 home runs for the season, 117 RBIs. What a year he is having, as he is hitting a little over 300 there, as you see there on the screen. But just a great year for him, and I was really surprised the way he has exploded with his bat there. And quite personally, I'm not too good with lefties when it comes to baseball games, but here lately, as of late, it's been helping out. I think this is because the Road to Show series, I have a switch hitter who's been doing very well, and you guys know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Simon Unger. But yeah, Adam Lind, he is definitely going to be, if anything, he did win the batting title this year. He came close to winning the home run title with Miguel Cabrera just ahead of him there. I think like 7 or 8 home runs. But just a great year. Another good pickup here that we got during the offseason that, originally we traded away, and then turned around, we got him back on waivers because Seattle didn't feel like they needed him. Well, Seattle, you shot yourselves in the foot there, because this guy right here, who's been playing, literally he's played almost every single position for us this year, because of guys going either because of injury or guys taking a day off or a couple days off, and we need that really good. I'm trying to think of the name of it, how you describe these guys. Just overall, look, take a look. Secondary position, second or first, third, short, left, right, and center field there. great utility player. That's not the word I'm looking for. Just a great utility player that we have here who can play every single position with the exception of catcher. I mean, I don't see him playing catcher, but I mean, he probably could. I mean, especially in learning from Salvi, I'm sure he probably would do well behind the plate. But Ben Zobrist there, great pickup there. I'm glad we picked him up, and now we're going to try to see if we can try to get him signed up to a long-term contract coming up after the offseason. Alex Gordon, of course, a former third baseman, and of course, I think next year, I think we're going to try to use him a little bit more infield there at short or at third base, but center fielder. It's kind of funny because I remember going to up to a couple games up in Lincoln to see him play for my favorite college team, Nebraska Cornhuskers. I remember going and seeing him play, and just a great player. And then of course he had those, when he got to the Royals, he had some of those freak injuries, and just had the injury bug that really got to him quite often, and just couldn't really stay on the field as much. But now he's healthy, and as you can tell here this year, he's been doing a great job for us. 31 home runs there for us, and just a great bat coming from Alex Gordon. And again, another one of those great players that we're going to have to really rely on here as we go into the playoffs. So yeah, definitely he's going to be a guy that we'll have to really hope that he can just do some damage there for us. Lorenzo Cain, tough year for him. He of course he is our leadoff guy there, and so he's not going to get many RBIs. But stolen bases, yeah, not too many this year. But his average, but overall, just his health. His health has been a major concern here, and that's why I think during the playoffs here, I think he and Dyson will take some time off. Will switch off between games. I'm thinking of letting Cain start the first 2 games, and then Dyson comes in the third game. But yeah, Lorenzo Cain's just been having just some injury issues, and just been a tough time. I think the longest he's been off on the DL there for a while. I think he was on there for I want to say it was like 2 weeks. I think it was the longest a month. He was gone for a month, I think, if I'm correct. You guys probably right now typing on your thing, no, it was actually 2 weeks, but I think it was a month that he was off. He was on the DL there for a while, and it really hurt us. But hey, it helped out Gerard Dyson, because he is definitely going to get a long-term contract with us. The young man right there, 30 years of age. I mean, this kid is in his prime of his career. He's been showing what he can do there out in left field or out in center field. If he doesn't, if we do bring him back, and of course we're looking at, we're looking at Markakis as if he's going to come back next year for us or not. But if he does not, he doesn't want to resign with us, or we decide not to bring him back, Dyson will be in that right field position there for sure, because he has definitely earned it from my point of view. Excuse me. Moving on now to the pitching side of this and all. There's our guy right there, our ace. I am so cool. Now, even though we do have a lengthy contract with him, because we are picking up that contract there, I think he has still another 5 or 6 years on that contract. But we do have some money. We can move some stuff around, which really helps us out, because the latter part of the biggest portion of the contract has already been pretty much eaten up by Seattle. But King Felix there had a perfect game against his former team, and then of course he's our day one starter, and he's just killing it for us. Had a rough go there at the beginning, but definitely did a great job there. As you know, he's got over 20 games now he's won for us this season, so he's definitely earned the right to be the ace, and of course our Cy Young winner for us. Danny Duffy, there you see him. Just another great story here this year coming from pitching. I think I really do. I think with starting pitching, I always usually have a tough time trying to find those good pitchers there to rotate in and out. here. But I think this year, I think by far here, it was been the best 5 I've had in all the years I've played this video game series. And Danny Duffy was just a delight. There you see 20-7 for the year for him, and just a great guy. He definitely, I think we're going to go ahead, and I think I show here on in this episode here, but we are going to put him in the number 2 position there, and he will be our number 2 starter, and especially for next season. With Vargas, of course, Vargas is out for injury. He won't be with us during the playoffs. He'll be in the clubhouse with us, but he won't be on the field with us. And he'll definitely have to work. Him and Duffy will have to work for that number 2 day position. But for right now, Duffy has it. Brennan Shipley, there you see there, a great year, a rookie. Got him from the Rule 5 draft. Him and Butler, which we'll see here in just a bit, had a great year. And Shipley, our rookie of the year. Nice job there. Won 16 games, lost 6, and just a great year for him. And a young guy that I cannot wait to see next season. He's played a full year, but just what he can do next year, potentially as again, fighting for a spot here, day 3 guy between him and Vargas for that position. Like I said, Vargas and Duffy are to fight for 2, and then it comes down to who gets day 3, and that'll be between Vargas and Shipley. And of course Butler here, you see him 17 games of the year. Now, he had 1 game more than Shipley, but also lost 1 more game than Shipley. So that's what it came down to that. And of course the ERA between those two went to, of course, Shipley. But Butler there, you see him, a great young pitcher again. That 4-seam, that split, change-up, slider, and curveball there. Nice job. And like I said, we got a future with these 2 pitchers right here. By the time we get to the end of next season here, they could be easily going for that top spot to be one of the aces, being the ace or being the day 2 starter there for us, if they can keep it up. If they can continue doing the same thing like they did this year and put more wins and losses, then yeah, we have a great future with those 2 players, and we can try to sign them. I really do want to sign them to a long-term contract here coming up soon. But then Samuel Rosario, right here, a great player. And then, of course, there you see his numbers this year. Great guy coming out of the bullpen there. He's actually had a couple of great games, really, this year coming out of the bullpen. He's one of our guys I love going to in the game. Of course, here's Wade Davis, also another one. Between him and Rosario, it's kind of tough, because sometimes I kind of want to go to Rosario, but I know Wade Davis, he's a veteran here. He's one of the guys that we have, that a lot of guys here in the bullpen say they go talk to on the days that they're presumably going to be coming into the game. But Wade Davis is one of those older players, and I know it says 29 years of age, but he's been with this ball club for a lot of years here. He's been here on the lows of lows when we've lost 100 games or more, but then he's also been there when we've won 90 plus and challenging to go to the playoffs. So like I said, Wade Davis there, I want to say he has another year or 2 on his contract, but we're going to try to see if we can keep him here longer. And then, of course, Greg Holland there, one of our great guys here who, man, just came up short this year when it comes to saves. Could have been the saves leader there, but just, we're doing so well. We didn't, there's a lot of days that we did not need the bullpen, and he didn't get the work in. So not against him or anything, but just a great year for him. We already see, I believe, 45 saves for the year for him. And just really just a great guy there that we're working with our closer. So we're trying our best to sign. I think he's up for a contract here coming up too after the season. All right, so now for the Blue Jays, we got, of course, Edwin Carcino, one of the power hitters here, one of the first, I believe, outfielders. And of course, a guy that we're just going to have to really just kind of just dance around here when it comes to batting towards him, because with the flick of a wrist and just a change of a pitch going, if it's supposed to go 6 inches left, and then it goes 6 inches right. He can get a hold of it, and with him and Batista in this lineup, I'm nervous about this. I am very nervous about getting hit off of, because we have not had that problem this year. That does not have a lot of games here. Well, and I say that, but at the same time, we did. I mean, now as I think about it, we have had a couple of games where we had that problem, but usually that was on days where Shipley or Butler, and that's when the rookie the rookie growing pains comes in, just having a bad day and just have to suck it up and just have to go with it. Brett Lowry, there you see there, another great player there for them. And of course, we're going to be trying to see if we can, one of those dangerous players there that can do a good job here defensively. Got a great glove, and he can just, he's like a vacuum. He can just suck the ball right out of the, off the line there, and then just dart it to first. Now, Jose Reyes. Oh, I think I've said this in a video before, but I hate pitching to him. He is so tough. I mean, he can drop down bunts dead. I mean, just dead on arrival. And I think that's what he loves to do. So, I think a lot of people are saying that a couple years ago a lot of people were complaining because the last day or whatever for the batting title, all he was doing is bunting, and he was getting on board. And it just was really frustrating people. Well, I agree. That is very frustrating when you see a guy like him who has really quick speed there. And, of course, if he gets on base and they need him to, move over, get ready, because it's going to be it's going to be something. So I'm really seeing that Salvador Perez is going to really have a day with him. And, it's going to be something that we're going to see here. Where I see a lot of battles between those two, trying to throw out Reyes. Milky Pereira, of course, one of those great hitters there. He's been kind of quiet in the last couple of years. Of course, he had that issue with the PEDs that he had to sit out for half a season there. But other than that, I mean, batting wise, I think he's been pretty much on average. They don't really show his numbers too much here, after 2015 here, but. And we're still in 2015 roster, so yeah. I mean, actually, no, go back even further than that. Probably 2014 when we started this series in MLB 14. I mean, it's been a while, so it's. But yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, these guys we're looking at here, these are guys that we're looking at that are potential threats to us. Going against the Blue Jays here, that just guys that right now that are either doing really good right now, like Nolan Reinhold right now. I think that game against the Braves or against the Red Sox, but before that, I looked up on here. He had a really good game against a really good series against Baltimore, and it's just. Oh my God! I'm just like looking at those numbers. I'm like, oh my God, geez, like he's further down the order there. I think he's behind Batista, so he might be 5th. But yeah, it's gonna be that really true. It's gonna be that 3, 4, 5, and even 6 lineup. It's gonna be really tough for us. Jose Batista, that you see there, I mentioned Joey Bats. And of course, he could play first, third, and of course outfield there, right and left. And like I said, with him and Carcino right behind each other, I think in between them, I think I might. Well, I see Jose Reyes leads off, so I think they might be 3 and 4 there. So yeah. Marcus Stroman, of course, a young player right here. It's his second year here playing. And there you see his numbers here. A great young player who really, truly, I mean, just he's a beast. There you see his record, so 15 and 7 for the year. Great year for him. But yeah, definitely this, especially playing in the playoffs here. This is a big stage here for him. He can either do great or he can just really, really just blow it up and just have a horrible time with it. So he's kind of in the same boat as Butler and of course Shipley there. But yeah, it's gonna be a really interesting game. I think he'll be pitching in game 1 in the divisional round. And then you got Drew Hutchison. There you see him, 13-4 for the year. And there you see his ERA there, just a little above 3.30. But with him, a veteran player here on this team, there you see his pitches, four-seamer, slider, circle, and a two-seamer. And he is dangerous. I mean, if you get, I remember one game I played, I was behind the count so many times with him, and he would right on top of you, and he made sure he struck you out or you popped or you flied out. Mark Burley, former perfect game winner back in his days with Chicago White Sox, he's with them. He was their ace there for a while. I think he might be considered still their ace, but I don't think he started. I don't think he'll be the day one starter. Like I said, Stroman will be I think he is the day one starter. But Burley, I think, if I remember right, I think they have him as a third day starter. So he'll be facing Shipley. So that's going to be a good matchup right there. I really think that Shipley is going to be really interesting seeing how he does. Aaron Sanchez, of course, I think he's going to be starting in game 4. A young rookie here for them. And there you see his numbers now. You look at his numbers and his win and loss records right there. But usually, a lot of times in these games, usually that does not matter, because usually these guys with that, like with a 7-18 record, they're hungry. So they're gonna go out there and they're gonna pitch. They have nothing to lose, and they're just gonna go after you. So Sanchez, like I said, he's gonna. I can really see him step up his game and really I think we've at least seen some footage of him pitching his last 2 starts, and he was really nailing guys in the inside and really working them there. So, I think the only person he probably will not do that to is Lynn, because Lynn is a beast when it comes to the inside game. And I think I say the same thing probably for Moustakas, because he's known at times for really, if they throw him inside, he'll take it and just pull it left. So he'll or out to right field. So he'll those two will be dangerous against him. R.A. Dickey, of course, I think he's a day 5 starter. That knuckleball, that right there, that's going to be the Achilles heel for me. Me personally, I'm not a fan of the knuckleball at all. And so if R.A. Dickey is going to be pitching a game, it's going to be a very low-scoring game, meaning we're going to have to do a lot of stealing, and if we do get on board on base, and a lot of bunting. So, and then, of course, in their bullpen, got Steve DeBar. He's had a great year. There you see some of his numbers there. Very good guy. If they get the lead, or if they're within distance of getting the lead, he's going to definitely be a problem for us, especially here lately. When we're down by any more than 3 runs. A lot of the count 0-2 counts up really quick, and so we're gonna have to try to avoid him getting out there. And of course, I think last but not least is Brett Selleck. He will also, I think they have him as a starter also here, or as a closer also in the closing situation. So we'll have to try to keep our best. If he comes out, we know that we got a problem, especially if we're down by a run or 2. He is definitely a guy. He's one of their specialists that can go in there and shut it down. I think the last time I remember one game we played, I don't think we had it. Oh no, I think maybe one of the episodes we had here. He did a great job of going in the game and really kind of just. I think we scored enough. I think we were up by a run or two, but he did a great job. Just like, okay, this is it. I'm gonna keep my guys in the game, and that's what he did. So, but yeah, just wrapping up here. Take a look at Mark Burley there, scheduled to be in Game 2. So Storm, I think Game 1 is gonna be Hutchinson. So Stroman, I think he'll probably be pitching Game 3, maybe. Maybe that's more sounds more like it, but anyway, these starting starts here can always change. There you see Shipley and Marcus Stroman in Game 3. So, but they can change. Really true. They can change at any time, especially with them. With us, it's pretty much going to be set in stone right now. Felix Hernandez in Game 1. Game 2 will be Duffy, and in Game 3 it will be Shipley. And of course, if we move on to Game 4. That will be, I believe, John Lackey. Yeah, it's John Lackey now. Looking at my notes here, yeah. So this will be John Lackey, and then if we have to go to Game 5, which I'm really hoping we're not, it will be Butler. So, but yeah, those are looks like the other divisional round for the American League is going to be looks like the Angels and Tampa Bay. And then you got San Diego and St. Louis in the National League Divisional Series. And then in the other National League Divisional Series, we have Pittsburgh going against Atlanta. Pittsburgh, of course, winning that one, getting into the playoffs there in the wild card round and beating the Dodgers there. So that is your look there at the World Series. We'll keep you guys up to date. Now, the next episode that you guys will see will be Games 1 and 2 of the series. We'll show you guys that. We'll put those two games together and show you guys the highlights of that game and where we're at that point. So that's how we'll kind of do it. And then, of course, we'll show you guys Game 3. And, of course, if we end up losing Game 3, have to go to Game 4, then we'll put Game 3 and 4 together. And then, of course, Game 5, if we have to go to a Game 5 decision, Game 5, we'll show that one by itself, and of course some stats afterwards and all that kind of stuff. We'll do the same thing if we do win Game 3. We'll show you guys some stats and kind of give you a little bit of a preview of who we'll possibly face next there between the Angels and the Rays. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's episode here of the Royal Court Insider, hit that like button. Also, don't forget to hit the subscription button for more Kansas City Royals franchise here on ESGNet. So thank you guys for watching. Also follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. Links are down below in the description. Check those out, and stay tuned for the next episode. I believe it's episode 86 of the Kansas City Royals franchise, and it'll be Games 1 and 2 of the American Divisional Series. As always, keep yourselves and each other healthy, and I will see you guys next time.